And we are live. My booze, my loves, my friends, my family. Chris and I have arrived at Madison Seminary for our collab. And right now, we are going to go ahead and do a walkthrough so you guys can learn the historical information and the hauntings that come along with this amazing location. So, give me just a second. I'm going to flip my camera around and we're going to start this tour. All right, are we ready? Yep, okay. All right, ready when you are. Here we go.
Would you want to shut this door?
Probably because of the heater. Maybe it'll get a little warmer for you.
Austin, hey Mecca. Okay.
Get married and moved down to the Kansas-Missouri border, and back then you were either Confederate or you were Union. She was a big supporter of the Union, so every day as a school teacher she'd raise a Union flag. The Confederates actually saw her do that and told her if she did it again, they were going to kill her. She was a BA, went out the next day, raised that flag again, and unfortunately the Confederates did see her do it, went to her home at nightfall and knocked on the door, and they were wearing Union soldier uniforms, and they asked what their politics were. Right away, they say Union. They shoot her husband. He falls to the ground. They take the muzzle of the gun and actually put it in his mouth and blow off his head right in front of her. So she runs to get out the back door, and one of the guys raises a gun to shoot her, and the leader says, "No, don't shoot her. She's too pretty to shoot," and lets her go. So she wants to avenge her husband's death. She joins the army as a nurse. She starts getting all this information from Confederates. Abraham Lincoln actually finds out about it, writes her a letter, asks her to be a Union spy. She agrees right away, travels across 17 different states collecting information. She was so good at her job, she got caught. She convinced them she was working for them. She brought back a brand new horse, ammunition, and food. The reason she's so near and dear to our hearts is she actually lived the last 4 years of her life here. She died here, and there's a cemetery up the road. We used to own that. So she's buried there along with 92 other women that died on this side. But between both sides, there's been a total of 201 documented deaths.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of death. Do you want to know paranormal?
Yeah, we can give haunting information.
Okay. So here, a lot of what report is a tall man. He's about 7 foot tall or taller. He walks the area almost like he's checking up on the place, though. So I almost feel like he's probably like one of the old superintendents or something. He's usually reported like walking in and out of rooms. We also get a lot of women talking, like you walk up and it's not like you're walking into a conversation and then they'll stop, singing, humming. People have been touched over here, nothing aggressive, kind of like your grandma would do, like a touch on the face or touch on the arm, things like that. There's no particular room up here. It's pretty much this whole floor.
Yeah.
It's pretty much this whole floor. When we go down, I'm going to skip the next floor down. You guys are welcome to investigate it. We just don't get as much activity there. And we do the same thing in the school when we leave for it. So we'll go straight to the creepy basement.
Okay.
We also get a lot of activity on these stairs.
What, just footsteps?
Just so everybody knows, we will be going live at 7. This is just the walkthrough with the history and the haunting information. Ah, I love this part. This part was fun when I was here last. I should have my freaking light on my phone and I don't. No, it's all right now.
So down here, between this side and the other side, that was built in 1898, finished in 1901. For a while, it was known as the Soldiers' Home. They have retired military and anybody with a lady can come here. But then in 1904, all the way to 1975, it was the Madison Home, which was a place where women had dementia and Alzheimer's. Plus, we sort of still have retired military. Some of the women's relief corps was still here. But then we had the insane asylum on the top floor, which housed criminally insane, mentally insane, physically handicapped, and mentally handicapped. But in 1956, they brought in a program called Opportunity Village, and this is where they housed women prisoners down here, up to like 13 women at a time. Basically, they were honor inmates. They were waiting to be paroled, so they would help out with the elderly. They would cook, they would clean, they would do like nursing stuff for them. Most of them would have been here for very petty crimes, such as writing bad checks, petty theft, things like that. But we did have one woman. Her name was Blanche Jacobs. Was actually here for double homicide. Also in 1956, she actually got caught writing some bad checks. Her and her husband moved to Columbus. They moved next to an elevated couple. They were ages 73 and 74, Mr. and Mrs. Robinson. She becomes very good friends with them. She starts writing bad checks on their account. They figure out that it's her, confront her. She actually goes next door to the house, and Mrs. Robinson's in the basement baking pies. She goes downstairs and she's like talking to her. They got into some kind of heated argument over it. She picks up a rolling pin, hits her over the head with it. She falls to the ground. Her husband hears the commotion. He comes down the stairs. She doesn't grab just one butcher knife. She grabs two butcher knives, slices him to death. Turns around, Mrs. Robinson actually woke up and was trying to get away. She chased her down, dragged her back, sliced her to death. Then took both of their bodies, put them in the hospital, bleach, went home and told family and friends that the Robinsons went on vacation. She holds up the charade for 3 days, and then she ends up turning herself into her husband. Her husband doesn't even believe her. She physically has to take him to the bodies and show him what she did. So she tries to plead insanity. Right now.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully by next year it'll be even better.
Hey, Curtis, how are you? Hi, Bobby.
Feedback.
Yep, I got feedback. Just lost it here too.
Really?
Yeah, and now it's back.
This would have been where they would have ate all their meals at. For those that couldn't, though, there is actually a dumb way to apply the bathrooms to all the way to the fourth floor asylum. Those are your two working bathrooms for the night. We actually have 9 bathrooms, but only those 2 work, so please only use those 2. But down here we have a friendly spirit that we nicknamed Grandpa, who does like to play tricks on you, especially when you're in the bathroom. He doesn't generally come in though, but usually some people call him a whistler, because that's when things reported a lot is whistling. Or the piano will play sometimes by itself. People have actually seen him over in the corner, over by the other piano that we're in. Also K2s and EMFs, this hallway sets them off. It is not paranormal, it's our fire system, just so you guys know.
Yeah, I debunked that when I was here
Yeah.
last because somebody was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nope. I walked the whole line of it.
It'll eventually come back to normal once you get halfway down this hallway, but
Yeah.
that's like tell people.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for you guys to see it. We'll be running 3 hours off of my account, and then we'll have to switch over, and Chris will be running on his. And I will be going on TikTok. The whole.
So with this room, the reason we dug was there was always a rumor that supposedly around the turn of the century, a teacher's aide was having an affair with the higher up the building and possibly got pregnant and come and this way. She was pregnant and then she disappeared, and around that time this was being built. And that's supposedly she was buried in her floor. Well, we had a TV show out and they brought in 2 trained cadaver dogs. Both of those dogs went through the whole building, found nothing until this room. One actually hit like right around this area, and then one hit like right over in this area. So then they did the ground penetrating radar to the whole basement area. And here, 2.5 foot down, they actually called an anomaly on the screen about size of kids' football, like one of those little. And so they asked if they could dig, and we're like, yeah, dig. So they dug 2.5 foot, found nothing, went down almost 3 foot, still didn't find anything. The excavator was like confused. He's like, there should have been something here. Doesn't make sense. So they went and got our active canine unit. That dog didn't go through the whole building. As soon as he got to that hallway down there, he started pulling and barking in this direction. So I just let him go. He comes running down here, comes over here, and doesn't tell that something's over here. So a couple of different things like that. It is possible that somebody was buried here and later moved, and maybe because she was decaying, maybe something fell off, like a finger or a tooth. There's nothing morbid, but that happens. So we did keep the whole dirt. We are slowly sifting through it to make sure. So far, we haven't found anything. But my heart says, why didn't we listen to the dogs
Right.
instead of technology?
Yeah,
Why
you
didn't we
would
go
think
here?
that you
But
would
we
dig
listened-
there.
You're right, we listened to the TV show and wanted to dig where technology was saying. So we have actually started to tunnel this way. We are about to here. So far, we have not found anything. We don't want to tear up the 12th floor unless we have to. 1, there's original brick underneath there. 2, it's going to be an expensive fix.
Right.
You know, so, but you better believe if we find one thing, we're probably going to tear the whole thing up.
Rim pods, when I was here for the investigation at MadCon, they were going ape shit in there. And they did Estes in here. Heather Taddy did it. And we were getting quite intelligent responses. And that was on Friday night. And then on Saturday night, Courtney was in here with Stephen Dillon. And Courtney sometimes would throw intelligent responses, but a lot of times it was just stuff pertinent to the history of the building.
So we call this room like the buried room, the whole room now. We used to call it the dark room before we dug. Because sometimes when you're in here asking any kind of questions about her missing, going missing, being buried here, stuff like that, every now and then it would get so dark in here you can no longer see these windows. These windows are actually front facing to the building. You'll see there'll be a little street light that comes through. So you can always tell it's there. There's no reason for it to ever black out. You see there's no trees directly in front of there, nothing. I actually didn't think that was a real thing. I was like, there's no way that happens. Until it happened to me, of course. But before we dug, and I had actually another guy that was investigating, which is me and him in here. He was standing up against here before we dug. I was standing in the doorway, and he was recording. Did you just get touched?
Yeah, I got touched on my head.
And that's common in here.
Yeah,
Exactly that.
something actually like it like tapped like it wasn't it was like a pat on my head like you would pat a kid's head.
Yeah.
Something just literally patted the top of my head.
So he was standing up here and he was recording, so I'm trying to be super quiet.
Kyle says you look scared.
And he was being kind of provocative with his questioning. It made me very uncomfortable. So I'm standing here, I'm just trying to be quiet. But then all of a sudden, from this corner, it got darker over here, like darker than dark. And then it just like moved across the room until I couldn't see him anymore. So I just reached out and I touched him. I'm like, hey. And he's like, what? I said, play the recording. It was mad screaming, get the F out. So
Wow.
I did come down and apologize. That wasn't me being disrespectful.
Okay, now my arm's getting touched.
Starting already.
Well, this is what happens with me. Like, I'm not surprised.
And then this was an old police cell in 1980s. The police department ran out of here for a while. This was what we believe was their holding cell. And then over here was the laundry room. We do get activity in both areas, but they can be some more residual than actual.
I heard stuff getting drug in here on Saturday night. I actually came in here and started moving stuff, and it was the ironing boards that were moving.
Really?
Yeah, there's no light from you, but yeah, see guys, there's ironing boards over here. But you could hear, it was this one, out of the 2, I figured out that it was this one, and it actually had shifted, like.
Very cool.
Yeah, each time I walked in, you could see it had shifted.
So there's the dirt from the hole.
Oh.
That we're sifting through.
Yeah, I know, Mecca, aren't you surprised? Oh, and Mecca, my face hurts. I'm coming.
So down at this end, they would use this end as what they call the waiting to die patients. So basically what hospice is today, this was the old family sitting room. We also call it the map room because there's a giant map on one of the walls, but it would have been the family sitting room. And then the part you want to see, the devil's toy box.
Yes.
Over here,
I heard electronics get wonky over here
they
too.
can.
So I'm curious to see if I can hold my connection. Oh, yeah, in the coffin on the bed.
Of course, because Adam's got to be creepy.
Whoa.
This, I don't like this. Okay, can I see your flashlight real quick? So, okay. So you guys, this is the devil's toy box. This is what we get to play in tonight.
Oh.
It is a, oh my God, this is so disorienting.
Even the door has mirrors, so when you close it,
Jesus.
look.
Wow.
What do you think of this room?
This is gonna be badass.
Oh, look at the ceiling.
Yeah.
Eventually the floor is going to be done too. We're just not going to use mirrors. We're going to use something reflective and put a polyurethane over top.
I feel very off balance and like
That's
this.
what I said. It makes you feel kind of disoriented.
I feel very off. My face really hurts. Like really, really hurts in here. That's a good thing. Here's your flashlight back. Thank you. Can't believe we forgot to grab the bag with the flashlights.
So why was that location picked for that room? Just
because it's somewhere we don't go to investigate a lot, so it's bring more traffic that way, I guess.
Oh, just so you know too, Chris, when I was walking through on my live on that Saturday when we were investigating, I walked into here and people on my live were seeing shadows peek in through this door down here. And then like I would walk out and they would see, like if I turned, they would see shadows standing behind me in this room.
So this would have been the superintendent's office, and then through here, the superintendent's actually lived with the families. This door's not supposed to be
Is that 10?
Hmm?
What room is that?
Okay.
Yeah, this is the door too. When I was walking through, that there was banging on the opposite on the other side.
And all it is storage.
Yeah, like I actually cracked it open to show because everybody was like, "Is somebody in there?" And I'm like, "That's not an accessible room."
Right.
So I cracked it open so people could see it was nothing but storage. But there was like banging coming from that side of the other side of the door.
So this would have been the living room area. Like they had two living rooms, one for family time and one for entertaining. And then through here are their bedrooms.
what year was this that people were living in here?
It would have been from 1904 all the way to 1975. Now in this room,
Oh,
so you're fine.
no.
What's wrong? You okay?
Something just. Like you could hear like it was a pop and a click, like a door.
Maybe. So in 1911, the second superintendent moved into the building. His name is Otis Neal. He moves in with his wife, Mary. It's actually his second wife. His daughter, her stepdaughter, who was 15 at the time. Her name was Ethel. They move in, and they thought they were going to be here for many, many years. So they like sold all their property, and they moved in. Shortly after being moved in, they find out that they're going to be thrown out. And that was because the first superintendent of the building, Commander Weber, did not want Otis here because he was not military. He just simply said they couldn't sympathize with the patients that were here. So that night, Mary, according to the newspaper article, that night Mary leaves her bedroom, goes to his bedroom, through the window or through the living room to get a glass of water, comes back the same way, stops to kiss him on the forehead, then comes in here with a gun, wraps it in a bed sheet, and shoots herself through the heart. And then the 15-year-old finds her the next morning. So there was a big red flag with that, and I happened to find out about the suicide, say suicide in quotes, during COVID. So we shut down. So I had nothing better to do but investigate Otis.
Right.
So I went and dug into Otis's past. It turns out that his other wife actually died of a broken heart. That's literally what's on her death certificate. Usually, the big red flag I forgot to say was that nobody heard the gunshot. He's asleep right here.
Yeah.
And they said they wrapped it in a bed sheet.
That's not gonna muffle it
blankets,
enough.
not a pillow, right? And it was
Yeah.
like 1911. One of the daughter would have been asleep in one of these other bedrooms. And if you had like cooks or maids or anything, they would be living over here with you. 24-hour care patients with doctors and nurses. Why didn't nobody hear the gunshot? So that's why I dug into him. Well, like I said, his first wife died of a broken heart. Literally says brokenhearted on her death certificate. Then you look back into history more, and he had an older daughter, Edith, and you find a small newspaper article just says she did a mild infraction. Otis punishes her, and she dies of the punishment. So he killed his oldest daughter. First wife dies of a broken heart. I later find out that the older daughter, he killed her in 1899. In 1887, he was indicted by the state of Ohio on assault and battery charges on that daughter. He took her out front of the house that he lived in then, beat her so bad that she was bleeding from every limb. He was acquitted of those charges.
Oh
And
my
he ended up killing
God.
her in 1899.
Oh.
He was a doctor.
No, he was a superintendent.
Superintendent, yeah.
So then he gets here, and like I said, they end up not getting thrown out. They end up being here for 16 years, him and his daughter, and because Mary killed herself. While he's here, women patients are writing all kinds of letters to the board trying to get him thrown out, saying he was taking their pensions, telling them they didn't fight in the war, they didn't deserve it. He was really mean to his matron at the time, was a lady named Emma Jean Marshall. He would hit her in front of people, he'd call her names, stuff like that. Then when he retires in 16 years, he goes to live with Ethel, who's now living on her own here in Madison. 6 months later, she walks out in front of her car that's only 20 feet away and dies of the injuries. He ends up dying in 1939 with a net worth of over $52 million.
What?
And I just found out another fun fact. He had a brother whose name was Orrin. He was a life insurance agent.
Oh, Jesus.
There's a whole paper trail. You guys can look into it. It is 100%.
Wow.
So I don't think Mary killed herself. I think there was some foul play. I don't know exactly what the foul play is. We do have to tell you it was deemed a suicide because that is what is on her records.
I heard it that time.
Did you hear that?
Otis is here. Otis is always here.
You can feel, like, I remember, like, walking between these two rooms, and there's a shift between these two rooms. You can feel it.
And I think she comes and goes. At least I hope she's not stuck here with him. I hope it's the fact that she comes and goes. But sometimes she talks, sometimes she doesn't. We have talked to her, though. But Otis is here all the time. Not a fan.
I got pictures in both of those rooms.
And things happen in pretty much every room in this building.
Check this room out.
Oh, yeah.
Check.
It's not creepy at all.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something in the toy room. Totally got.
What? What?
I thought those were closed.
No. Oh, those are open.
Those are open. Is 10 shut or 10 open?
I don't know if I shut it all the way. Or if it did pop back open.
No, you had shut it all the way. So it was open.
A little bit. It popped up and a little bit. Might have been just the. I don't know what it would be.
I'm not seeing any comments on the chat right now, which makes me wonder if something's going on with it. I mean, it still says it's going live, but. Well, Mecca should have commented when I told him that my face hurts. He loves it when my face hurts because he knows what that means. I know it's down here. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is freezing. It feels like there's what's open.
Like it feels like the wind is just blowing.
Yeah, like right in.
I heard a bunch of stuff in there.
Really?
Yeah, it sounded like the fabric from the windows.
Thank you, Mecca. All right, stream's fine.
Like, are those Velcro?
Yeah.
It is so freaking cold right here, though.
It sounded like this.
Yeah.
So this is Sarah's room.
Okay.
Most of the time she shows herself as an 8-year-old child, but she'll have times where she'll come across as an adult. We don't have any documentation of a child ever dying here.
Mhm.
We do have some documentation of them being here in the asylum as patients. And as you know, many things were left undocumented, so it's possible that she just wasn't documented. We have a lot of theories on who or what she could be. It's possible that it's a dementia patient. You know, they go backwards and tend to act childlike than adult limits. It's possible that we have more than one spirit named Sarah. I think some people believe that she's a demon. I don't believe she's a demon. I feel like demons have a lot more things to do than just sit around Madison Seminary and wait for people to ask what my favorite color is.
Well,
That's
yeah.
my personal opinion.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I made Sarah
That
mad
demon must have
twice.
really fucked up. Because if they got to hang out in here waiting for people to show up, what's your favorite color?
Right.
How
That's
old
why
are
I
you?
just don't feel like, I think that she might be a dementia patient or another spirit proposing as a child at times, or a childlike spirit from the asylum. I mean,
Right.
you know, it could be many different things. A lot of people think she's a demon because of the money. The money came to
Here, will
play
you show-
because
put your
Adam, the
flashlight?
owner, actually asked one night on recording, "What do you want or what do you need?" She replied, "Money." That night, a lady left $1 for Sarah. Soon, everybody started leaving dollars for Sarah. Then they started leaving her dolls and toys. The toy room that you said was creepy.
Yeah.
That's actually the room right below us. That's all her toys too, because we just didn't have room in here to keep them all in here. So we told her she can go down there and play too. So you may run across there sometimes too, down there. I mean, she goes everywhere. She doesn't just stay in this room. Also, when you're in this room, pay attention to the hallway. We seem to get a lot of activity when you're investigating this room in the hallway.
Yeah. Well, and that door too. This was what was shown on.
Yeah, that's where Jeff Fett had the opening closing at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was actually used on the TV show.
And then some people believe that the closet is a portal. I don't know how you tell us if it's a portal, so
I don't think that's a portal. I think that's crap.
I'm not a fan. I don't think it is either.
No.
I think if we have a portal anywhere, it's probably the asylum from the trauma.
Yeah. Man, where is that coming from?
I don't know, but it's cold.
Like I just felt another cold
Yeah,
breeze
it's
come
super
through.
cold.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a window is wide open, but you don't. If it was wide open, we'd be
We
seeing
have
the
one
curtains.
broken window on this floor, and it's wood.
But it's
Yeah,
over
wood over.
here.
Yeah. But we have wood over it too, so. It could be. I don't think it is though.
Oh, I
Because
mean,
if it
that
was a
feels
steady
like a
breeze,
strong.
right? You think like those
But-
clothes should be moving or something,
Right.
or even like the bed skirt should be moving, and it's not.
Yeah.
But it is colder in this room, so it could be. I don't know.
That's weird.
And like this one falls in sometimes. That's why we have this out there. But right now it's not falling in. It's actually pretty secure. Yeah, it is weird. It's not even as cold in this room.
No.
Sarah's room seems to be the coldest area. in the
Yeah.
hallway. Alright, so. I think it's part of the problem. Everybody asks me where I get scared at. I don't get scared really because I'm the one that dies in a horror movie. But this hallway right here with T's, for some reason, sometimes are creeping out, like to the point where I gotta walk like quickly through it. I don't know what it is. We don't have no history behind that area.
That area.
Right, but it's creepy at night. This one here is another rumor, kind of like the whole room. The rumor was it's supposedly an asylum patient had gotten loose and it came in here and raped and murdered one of the patients. Again, that's a rumor. I did hear that. It was like almost like a twist stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my stomach. It'll be a fun night.
This is gonna be awesome.
So they believe that the woman was raped and murdered in here. We don't have proof of it, but we have talked to a woman in here and she said things like they made it look like an accident. The rumor was it supposedly happened in front of these sinks.
Oh yeah.
She actually told us if you go back around that corner there's a bathtub. She actually said it happened in the bathtub.
I got pictures in that bathtub. Yeah, that's the bathtub I got the red light picture. That's. I showed you that red light picture. I think I posted it. Yeah, that's the bathtub I got that red light picture in.
I don't know. I didn't. That was bad vibes, man.
That juju's.
And then this bathroom here, we call the suicide bathroom, because in 1979, a man actually, the maintenance man of the building at the time, actually hung himself in the stalls. Well, we're not live. I don't tell you his name. I just don't want to offend
No,
his
that's
family.
fine. Yeah.
He does have family in the area. So
No, that's fine.
We've seen shadow figures in this hallway. I mean, we see, like I said, it's not just one area, it's everywhere. A lot of people
This whole building is just
a lot of people think
insane.
this room is creepy. We call this one the bride's room or the Blair Witch room.
Blair Witch. Oh yeah.
My best friend actually got pinched in this room on the back of her arm. A pinch. I heard that too. It's always somebody right there.
Yeah, somebody's following us.
It's walking behind us this whole time.
It's probably Otis.
This is awesome.
I'm told that Otis follows me through the building when I'm here because he doesn't like me. But that's okay.
What are we? It's
You're gonna
freezing.
stop when I come over here? There's the. It's not like water. There's no water.
I don't understand.
Here? Uh-huh. It's not even on the outside. That's weird. I don't know what that is.
Chris looks so confused right now.
Oh, it's the window itself.
Okay.
Alright.
I was gonna say the look on your face was priceless though.
Because it was a dripping noise, and we're looking, and there's no water right there. I'm like, what's this?
Well, you asked for a good location.
It's a good location.
Oh, wait till the 4th floor. Yes. Now, when I was live up here, Chris, there was nobody with me. And I was standing in the room where the bed is, and you could hear something charge up these stairs and run at me.
Oh, this is it.
This is the it right here that I told you about.
That happened to us one night up here. That's cool.
Yeah, well, I was live. I turned around and was like, well, something was right behind me just now on the stairs. Yeah, so I was over there by the bed, and you could hear it charge. I mean, it was loud enough you could hear it in here. Come up the stairs and run at me. And I was all the way over here.
Yeah, me and Adam were right here. He was actually recording right there, and I was getting here, and I heard it. I was giving him a walking, so we got here at 2, so we stopped recording, and of course we were running after, nobody's here. It was super loud. This room was their day room and a recreational room. So they ate their meals here, family came to visit. This is where they hung out. This is what was here. This ain't cool. This is just a crawl space, also where the beds are.
Oh, this room.
This is the surgeon's room. He does not like to be called the doctor, he prefers to be called the surgeon.
And you don't say DR twice in a row.
Oh, gotcha.
This is the room I told you about. Do you remember me mentioning this room to you?
No.
You don't? Okay. Even with your flashlight, it's like there's hardly any light. It's weird.
Looks kind of cool though.
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go, patient rooms. And they would have 5, 6, 7 patients to a room. So when you look at these rooms, they didn't even have beds.
Like, how would you fit
Right.
people in
How many people were in there?
5, 6, 7?
Depending
Yeah.
on the room. So this room here, we call the mind ward room, and that's because there's multiple spirits in this room, but there's actually one female who likes to pretty much make you feel everything she ever felt while she was here. So one minute you might be sad, next minute you might be happy, next minute you might be mad, you might feel medicated, nauseous, you okay? Sick.
I swear I just saw somebody standing right here in that doorway. Yeah.
It's possible.
Like, I
Is
couldn't,
he like bigger, like?
it
Yeah,
filled the whole
yeah,
fucking door.
yeah.
It looked like a door was here.
Yeah, that's common. There's many times we thought the door was closed, and as you get closer, you see it's not closed.
Yeah, I thought there was a, I
There's
thought
a
that,
window right there. Yes, there's a piece of cardboard over, but light still gets through, so there's never any reason for it to look like it's that dark. You know what I
right.
mean?
Well, and I remember this from when I was here, but like when I looked over, here, can I see your face? So you guys can see there's the door frame, but when I looked over, it looked like the door was shut. And when I looked again, it looked like something was like it filled the whole frame.
So this is the room that some people call the mean man's room, the evil man. I don't like it. I really wish he'd just give us the name already so I can give it a name. He's the one that's the most prominent in here, but then from time to time, there's also a child spirit that people have talked to, whose name is Stephen. That's where the dinosaurs came from, because he said he liked dinosaurs. So that's where that came from. He seems to come and go. Like, he's not here all the time, Stephen. But he's the one that likes to play with like mag lights and cat balls and anything that lights up. Then over here is John's room. He's super shy and very timid. We find if you kind of introduce yourself before going in, that he'll give you more activity than just barge in. And down at the end of the hallway are what we have our twins or our peepers. They'll be child-sized spirits that will peek out in unison, almost like they're trying to play peekaboo with you.
So basically, we're in The Shining.
Basically, yeah.
And it's supposed to be.
Get snowed in.
I know, we're gonna go to snow tonight, so we get to play with the twins.
Hopefully nobody shows up named Johnny. Oh, this is Johnny. Wait a minute.
Oh
Maybe you're
shit!
having
So we got Johnny and we got the twins down here. We're fucked. We need to order. We gotta order pizza first. I mean, we at least gotta.
Yeah, feed yourselves before you die.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna die. Let's at least die with like full stomachs. Like, we might as well get our fat kid on.
You're gonna need it to stay warm with that.
I know. I'm glad I brought my gloves. I've got extra hoodies. I got all my merch in the car if you need a hoodie. Yeah, I've got merch. Yay.
How much are your hoodies?
Huh?
How much are your hoodies?
40.
40?
Yep. Okay.
Oh, I don't got any yours yet.
Well, I do Venmo too, so. All right, let me flip camera around. Camera. Back, front. Close that out.
Yep.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
This is gonna be so much fun tonight. All right, guys, can you see me? Okay, you can see me. Yeah, I when I won this, I thought I was gonna cry. I was just like, yes. Well, this is like a bucket list location, and I was so happy to be here for like MadCon 6, but like if there was a lot of people and you know, you're trying to spend time with people and like get to know people, network. So it's like hard to like actually like, I think Chris Beard and I like ran around for like 2 hours after we investigated.
He's awesome.
I love Chris. He's amazing. All right, guys. So what are we going to do?
Well, start hunting some ghosts.
We're about to hunt some ghosts. Should we hunt some food first?
Yeah, let's get some food.
Food.
Well,
Food. I feel like Twister. Food. Food. Yeah. So we're gonna jump off here. We are going live at 7 o'clock tonight, Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna run for 3 hours on my Facebook and YouTube. Then we're gonna flip over to Chris's. So make sure you look it up. And how should they look you up on YouTube?
Haunted road trip. Haunted, not horror. Haunted road trip. And you can also go to my Facebook profile and you can find all the links there.
Whoa. Something just slid. So, you guys got the info. I will be going live on TikTok tonight as well. When Chris goes live on his YouTube, I'm going to flip over to TikTok. And yeah, it's going to be freaking amazing. If you guys heard any of the stuff that we heard while we were walking through, this is going to be an amazing night. We have it until 4 o'clock in the morning, but we might get snowed in.
You might.
We just might have a slumber party with a ghost. I mean, there's plenty of beds to choose from, so
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna be hurting on that. My nose is all red. All right, guys. So I'm gonna jump off here. I'm gonna see you guys later. Love you. Peace, and don't forget. Oh, there. Yeah, feel like Brie. I can't even hold my phone right. I hate doing landscape when it's just me. There. Now I feel better. All right, bye, guys.